Hello and welcome back to another episode of More Than a Business Live. My name is Mitch Case. I am your host today. I am also the co-founder of my wife and I's business, More Than a Meal, where we help organizations strengthen their most valued relationships, ideally employees and clients, by showing gratitude, appreciation, and empathy, one meal at a time. We are coming to you every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Time, sometimes pre-recorded, but today is another pre-recorded episode because I'm actually technically on vacation right now, and I promised my wife I would do no work while we were on vacation. So this is a little bit pre-recorded, but that does not take away from anything from the guests that we're going to have today. The reason that I started this show over 6 months ago was the idea of being able to highlight individuals and organizations that truly operate their organization as more than a business, more than a profit, focused on their people. So as we go about doing that, I will introduce my guest in just a second. But before we do that, I want to say thank you so much to our sponsor, True Captive. They believe in healthcare that is personal and insurance that isn't complicated. So if you do want to learn more about their unique captive healthcare program, go ahead and go over to their website at truecaptive.com. Otherwise, you can reach out to me. I'd be happy to get you connected with their team. So today's guest, I'm actually really excited to bring another individual from the construction industry where I previously was, specifically in the HVAC realm of things. We had a previous organization that we highlighted in this same space, but this is a new one that I haven't had a chance to really dive deep with just yet. So I'm really excited to bring on Mark Bray as the president of ACR Supply Company. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about what his overarching role is within the organization. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and welcome Mark to the show. Welcome, man.
Mitch, what's going on? Glad to be here. I'm really excited to be part of the show, and I think you're doing a great thing. So thanks for having me.
Awesome, Mark. Well, I appreciate that. As I kind of mentioned before, I'm already in this like vacation head mode right now, like trying to do 5,000 things at once. But I am definitely going to stay present for this conversation because this is truly one of the highlights of my week every single week. So if you are tuning in live on Thursday when this does air, go ahead and shoot some questions into the comments as Mark and I kind of dive into these conversations. We won't be able to answer those live on the show since this is pre-recorded. However, I can speak for myself, and I think Mark would jump in too. We'd be happy to answer some of those questions as they do come through just through LinkedIn. So with that, Mark, go ahead and give us just kind of high level what it means to be the president at ACR and what in the world do you guys actually do?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out what it means to be president at ACR Supply, but I got this role, I guess it'd be 4 years ago this year, is 2020. The pandemic was going on. The owner and president of the time, Troy, looked at me and another gentleman and he said, guys, you two are the future of this company. And next thing you know, we're sitting in a meeting and I'm assigned president. He's assigned chief operating officer. And here we go. So fast forward 4 years, there's days I feel like I know what it is and some days I don't. And so we're getting through it one day at a time, but it's really exciting and it's a great opportunity and just really fortunate for them to even look at me or consider me for a role like this.
Of course. Yeah. Well, the secret's out of the bag. As the older we get, the less and less we actually know. So humble beginnings there, Mark. Go ahead and let us know a little bit more about ACR and what it is you guys specifically do.
Yeah. So ACR was founded back in 1977 by L.C. Meacham. So we're almost at 50 years in business, and it's a family-owned business. We're a wholesale distributor, so we don't manufacture anything, and we don't service or install anything, but we provide heating, air conditioning, refrigeration, parts and equipment across the state of North Carolina. So.
Right on. Well, I'm actually excited to kind of dive into this because the majority of the guests that I've had on the show have been pretty centrally located here, really right around the Kansas City area. And so I know like company culture can maybe change from state to state or city to city, but I'm excited to kind of have this difference between what it looks like from a culture perspective at ACR, which is out in North Carolina, from maybe some of the things that we experience here in the Kansas City area and how those can be the same and maybe different and both be strong cultures. So we always like to start off the show, Mark, with an impact story. So maybe you've got a personal story of something that you or ACR has done to directly impact a team member, maybe a client, or even a community member in a positive way.
Well, culture is everything at ACR, and we really want to drive and create a culture where people actually want to get up in the morning and come to work.
Mm,
It sounds like a novel concept, but
right.
we actually have internally an ACR Cares initiative where
Okay.
we take a portion of our proceeds and we have a team, an individual from every team or business unit in the company, and we use it to do good. We want to be a light in the world. We feel that we have a big purpose, and that's our purpose statement: is to build relationships, impact lives, and glorify God. And so
Okay.
that's what we do. We just happen to sell HVAC and refrigeration parts and equipment to do it, but it's more than just transactional business. Across the sales counter, we feel like we really have a difference or ability to make a difference in the customers we serve, the suppliers that supply our products, our team members that work here, obviously, and then the community outside of the building. And so it's always something going on. There's always community service projects. There's always ACR Cares funds going to somebody who needs it. We've gone as far as building orphanages in Africa.
Holy smokes. Okay.
So a lot to unpack there. I don't know how deep you want to get into it, but it's a big deal for us.
You brought up a really interesting conversation. So, or an interesting topic in the sense that, glorifying God and the work that you guys do is a part of your mission statement. Is that what I understood correctly?
Yeah. So Troy Meacham, he's the CEO now. He's still involved in the business. He bought the business from his father, probably about 16 years ago, actually. And he realized that he loved his ministry at church on the weekend more than he loved his job Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And he had a revelation one day that, hey, I can mix these. My work is my ministry. And so at that point, he decided, hey, we're gonna use ACR as a vehicle to do good in the world.
Yeah.
We're gonna use ACR as a vehicle to make a difference in the lives of the people who work here and the people we come in contact with each and every day. And so it took a long time to kind of get there. And you go from one culture, his dad's culture was kind of old school, top down, command and control,
Sure.
do as I say, but there's people that maybe didn't buy into that, and he had to slowly get them off the bus. But now we have a really strong, healthy culture where people actually care about one another. People actually want to make a difference in the lives of the people we interact with every day. And so it's a special thing, but we just realized that we are a for-profit ministry, and so there's just a lot of good things that we do, and we try and integrate and incorporate into our business in many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's really empowering that you guys stay true to what that is. You always hear, like, especially on the social media world and LinkedIn, it's like, don't talk religion, don't talk politics. And, I think there's different ways that you can go about that where you can still stay true to who you are as an individual. I am kind of curious, like, what have you experienced as having, glorifying God in your statement for your organization? What has that done for, like, morale for the individuals that come into your organization? What has that done to maybe even, like, boost motivation or drive or engagement? I'm just kind of curious from your guys' perspective, because I've not come across a company that has that in their mission statement, that could be something that, an organization staying true to that can really have a deep impact.
Yeah, so I can speak for me personally. When I first started at ACR, and this is my 16-year anniversary date, by the way. So
Today?
Today is. It's been 16 years.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's flown by. Had no idea that I would have all the opportunities or be where I am or even who I am as a result. But I thought I would be here for 2 years. I was like, I'm just going to go there. I was a warehouse manager, and I was like, man, this little old company, I don't know what kind of opportunities and things are going to have. I always worked for larger distributors, and I came in, and I started to buy into the culture, and I started to realize that, hey, Troy and the people around me, they really care about me, really care about my development. And I don't know, it's just, it was always been like, hey, I'm learning, growing here. I'm having a lot of opportunities I wouldn't have had otherwise, personally, professionally, spiritually, financially. And so it's just been a good, solid experience for me. And so, when you come in, even if you have a faith-based background, I grew up going to church. I wouldn't have considered myself religious, and it's okay. Don't need to be to work here, and you still don't. We have a lot of people that are non-believers or atheists or Muslim, other backgrounds, but it does draw people. If you are into church and into spirituality, into the Christianity, it definitely draws like-minded people, because you're right. people don't hear about that or, see that on a mission statement anywhere. And so Troy has never been scared to put that out there, and which is very admirable. And I think more often than not, people respect it, even if they don't agree with it. So that's the thing for us. All we ask is that, you don't have to be a believer, but you have to understand that that's the foundation of who we are. And we're going to run our company on these values. And so which really just be nice to other people, be kind, be a good person.
The golden rule, right?
We're not really, you don't have to participate in Bible studies and things. And people have that, that work here. And there's always that stuff integrated into what we are and who we, who we're being. But it's not like you have to do that or be that to work here. But for me, it's made a huge impact. We've got a corporate chaplaincy program. So we've got a chaplain that comes around.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
A lot of people have stuff going on in their lives and they just don't, they don't have a pastor. They don't have a close friend. Maybe it's something going on with their spouse or something like that, or they don't want to go to their boss about it. So they don't have somebody to talk to. We have this chaplain that'll go around once a week and you can call him up if you're having downtime, you're having some questions, you just need somebody to love on you, encourage you, whatever it might be, just listen. Those people are there. So those are the type of things we do, and it makes a big difference.
That actually kind of leads in well to kind of the next question, as far as like when we start talking about, ACR and the work that you guys do and what truly makes it more than a business. I think what you've even alluded to with the core values, just being in general, and the thought of like truly helping individuals and caring for each other. And then having this chaplain, I imagine that's some sort of benefit or perk from within the organization that is provided, and it allows for different avenues to maybe talk about the things that we shoulder as we walk through the door that maybe we don't want to share openly with our team members and leadership, but it absolutely impacts our effectiveness, our energy, our efficiency in the work that we do. So what are some other things from ACR or just in general, I want to say, that like truly makes it more than a business?
Well, again, we really want people to grow. We don't want you to just come in and be the same person. We want you to be able to look back whether you worked here for 3 months or 30 years and say, hey, my life was better off because I was a part of the ACR family, because I worked at ACR Supply. And so we do a lot, and especially right off the gate, there's a lot of books and things that you have to read as part of the onboarding process to help acclimate with the culture. We have a Financial Peace University, Dave Ramsey program.
Yep.
We offer to every new hire. Now, we're not trying to get anybody's finances. We don't need to know what
tell me where you're at financially, and then you're welcome in.
Nothing like that at all. But a lot of people don't have any kind of financial training or planning or really know what to do with their paycheck.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of debt, and that's reality. And so to give people just life skill training, like financial planning and how to budget, they may have never gotten that. And it's game changing for a lot of people. They're getting out of debt, and so if people are getting out of debt, if they're not bringing financial baggage to work, they got a chaplain they can call, help navigate through personal baggage. I mean, all the people are getting better and better and better. We get everybody going through Crucial Conversations training, and I don't know if you read the book Crucial Conversations.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So Troy and myself are certified to teach it, and it's a big deal.
Wow. So you guys went through the entire certification so that you could help lead that?
Yep. So we do it all in-house, and we train our team. We got another one coming up in a few weeks, and I'll be leading our team through that one. But we take, 10 or 12 people from all of our stores, and we'll sit them down for 2 days, and we'll go through the Crucial Conversations training. Now think about that. If you have conflict at work and you can get people that can communicate and have some training and understand what to do, or understand, how to think or how to go about it, it can be life-changing. And what happens is they say, well, hey, this helped me at work, but man, this has really helped me at home with my wife or my kids.
Yes.
So just little things like that. We always try and just make people better. And if people are growing, not only with the product training and the things that help us sell HVAC stuff across the counter, if they're becoming better people, then that's a big deal for us. And again, we want people to be able to look back when they retire or whenever they leave ACR, or even if they stay at ACR to say, hey, I'm better off because I work there.
Man. Okay. So you're hitting on a lot of topics within my own house with my spouse, just even recently. And it correlates really, really well in the sense of we're going through this busy season of life with a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And we're very focused on this. The idea that we always kind of hear is like, hey, you have these kids, and then 18 years later, they're out, and now you're married to this stranger and you haven't dated your spouse and all this kind of stuff. And one of the things that has always helped me is, the 5 love languages, where you have a better understanding of how you receive love. But even as the spouse for my wife, like understanding how she receives it is not the same way that I give that. And I can understand and maybe even see how with your crucial conversations training, does that almost allow, and sorry for the analogy between spouse and work here, but I'm almost wondering if your leaders have all read the same book, they can all have the same conversation in that crucial way that allows them to understand the perspective or how to best communicate to that individual. Have you seen major growth just in everybody reading it versus just, all right, I need myself to be able to have this conversation, so I've gone through this training? Like, what kind of impact has that had from a global company wide, having your leadership all read this same book, go through an actual certified course that you guys are able to put on, and you walk the walk by getting certified yourself? Like, what kind of impact is that having?
Yeah, it's big. I think when you all go through these trainings and things together or read books together, you develop a common language. There's a common understanding of, hey, what's going on, and this is how we do things. Here's the terminology, and those types of things are what builds the culture ultimately. And so, if an organization is not doing that and getting everybody on the same page with the same types of training, the same types of expectations, the same types of vocabulary, or, hey, here's how we handle this. If there's a problem, this is how we prefer you do it. Then everybody's going to do it their own way, and that may or may not be good. And so just pouring into everybody and making sure that, we're at least giving you the training and the skill set and the tools, that we have a better shot of getting through the other side of a conflict, or having the conflict go well, than if we wouldn't. And so we believe
Absolutely. Well, it just makes you think of like that boat that's got everybody in the boat, and they have their oars. If they're all, I mean, we can all push or push our oar as hard as we want, and if we're not all going in the same direction, there's not going to be resolution. There's not going to be motion in that same direction. So being able to have the same common language that you refer to, I think, is just incredibly powerful. Now, did I understand like that's part of your onboarding for all your employees as well? Like they're going through these certified courses as team members?
Yep, it's part of the onboarding, and it's a lot early on as well. I mean, first 90 days. I mean, there's a lot of things you need to do and read, and yeah, it's it can be a little daunting. We've actually had asked ourselves, hey, is this too much? Should we back off a little bit? But we really want to hold on to that, and we've had people that have been like, you know what, that's too much for me. I'm not into that. I just want to show up and collect a check and go home, and that's it's really not what we want here. We don't want people to just show up and collect a check and go home. We want people here engaged, a part of what we're doing, and really buying into that. And really, so, I mean, if you're just not into reading the books and learning the language and, doing the crucial conversations, and maybe you're not a good fit. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean we're a bad company.
Sure. It's just the standard that you hold for the culture that you are protecting. I totally understand that. Like, it makes me think of this saying of, if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. I'm going to air quote that because easy can have many different definitions. But doing that hard work up front is going to allow for a lot easier, challenging conversations down the road. So,
we work way too hard on our culture to not uphold that, and or to kind of fall back and say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do that, because at the end of the day, we don't want to work with jerks. We want people bought in. We want people engaged, and so if you're going to learn pretty quick what we're about and how we do things, and it'll kind of filter some people out, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I think that's important to for other business owners to hear, or HR executives. Like, it's okay to find out that this person is not good in the first, and not that I'm going to say a good fit for maybe the culture side of things in that first 60, 90 days. A good friend of mine here in Kansas City, he has this idea of like fast to hire, fast to fire. Like, prove to me that you are who I think you are. Now he doesn't do it because he just wants to fire these people, but it's because I want to make sure that you are who you said you were during that interview process. So in the first 90 days, I'm going to have a good idea of exactly who you told me you were and who you're showing me who you are. So, man, we could stay on this topic for a minute, man.
Yeah, we have an average of 3 to 6 people you'll meet with before you ever get an offer letter. And
wow.
Again, we want to interview people. We get a lot of different perspectives, and we want people to get an opportunity to interview us at the same time.
Yes,
it's a big deal.
Well, keeping us on track, because I do want to make sure we get this together before we get kicked off. I do want to start talking about you, Mark. You're at your 16th year with ACR today. I imagine every single day you've shown up, you've just had a smile from ear to ear. Everything has been absolutely perfect. There has never been a hard day. Of course, I'm just kidding with this. This last question, I always ask these leaders, like, what continues to make you show up? Because we know that every day is not sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes we have literally 10% of ourselves to give, but we still have to show up and serve the people that we are blessed to serve. So what keeps you motivated to keep showing up, man, and making ACR what it is today?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I think for me that, it's always a new challenge. And I think I said it earlier, but if I didn't, I always tell people that in my role, I'm at the bottom of a steep learning curve, and that's where I want to be. I want to be on the bottom of the learning curve. I don't want to be at the top. I want to continue to find new challenges, new opportunities, new things that will continue to push myself and, make me a better, stronger teammate, better, stronger leader, all the things. And I feel like, I've hit a point now in early 40s where I have learned a lot. And now I can start giving back. We've had a lot of people retire, and our age at ACR is becoming younger and younger. And now I feel like, hey, I can help grow and develop and mold the next generation of team members that's coming in a lot of the ways that people did for me. And so I always get to give back and watch us grow. I think the best is yet to come. I think we have a lot of opportunities for improvement, but we also do a lot of things right. And I'll tell you, man, the grass isn't always greener. It's a pretty good gig here at ACR.
Well, I appreciate the transparency and that. And, I fell in love with the construction industry, a lot of because of the relationships that I got to develop with team members and clients that I got to hang out with on a daily basis. So I love that, what continues to drive you is just improvement, ultimately for the team members that you do get to serve, and for the company as a whole, which continues to make a better and bigger impact. Sounds like locally in the community with your give back portion of ACR. So, man, we are pretty much at the end of this show here. So before we kick ourselves off of this, I do want to let anybody know that maybe wants to hear more about your story, learn more about ACR. What's one of the best ways for them to reach out and get a hold of you?
Sure. Well, you can always look us up acrsupply.com on the internet. You can get a hold of me on LinkedIn. It's at Mark W. Bray on LinkedIn, and I try to be pretty active on there and post encouraging stuff. And you can also email me, mark.bray@acrsupply.com. And I'd love to chat, let you learn more about us and see if I can help you out some way.
Well, I'll echo that, having followed Mark for a little while now, who we met on LinkedIn as well. I can get you connected with Mark as well. If you can't get a response from him, it's because he's busy helping all his team members that are out helping build other things for other people. So, Mark, I'm grateful for you to spend time on this show. This show has been near and dear to my heart, and I selfishly feel that I get more out of this than anybody else does, whether they're watching or participating as a guest. But when my wife and I started our business, our core goal was to truly help and serve other people. And so part of that, we want to show our own gratitude and appreciation for you coming on the show by gifting a meal to somebody that would be deserving, whether they are celebrating their 16th anniversary within their organization, or maybe life is just coming at them hard and fast and they just need a break. If you would be willing to share as much or as little about who and why you would like to gift this meal, we'd love to hear that.
Sure. Well, the first person for me that comes to mind would be Monica Reed Tatum on our finance team. Okay. Monica works right down the hall from me, but she's gone through her second bout of breast cancer. She had a really rough year, just overcoming all that surgeries and radiation procedures, all the things. In the midst of that, her apartment flooded. She had to move out and then back in, and she still has more road to go. But all through it, she's remained positive, and she just is this beam of light. She just loves people. She's just one of these magnetic people to be around, and she's been an inspiration to me, just seeing her go through all this yet still stay positive and still just have her bubbly personality. It's amazing. And so if anybody deserves a meal and a night off of cooking, it would be Monica.
Well, let's go. Well, I am incredibly excited to help serve in that small way for Monica and just the battle that she goes. So Monica, if I never meet you or speak with you, I continue that battle. We'll be praying for you for a healthy and quick recovery on that end. And we hope this meal does give you that time off and well-deserved recognition for the smiles that you bring. Not only Mark and myself right now, but the team members that you get to encounter with it as well. So Mark, we'll touch base off line here to make sure that we can get that over to Monica here soon. But with that, we have reached the end of the show. We have done it, Mark. So I appreciate you again making the time to come on here and share a little bit more about ACR. I highly encourage anybody that does tune into this now or later to connect with Mark and hear more about the work that he is doing as he continues to grow ACR in the North Carolina area. So with anything else, Mark, you want to maybe share before we take off?
No. I just hope everybody can take their business and use it as an opportunity to do good in the world. It's a big deal.
I love that. And I think we can end with that. Your business can be a way to truly help and serve people in a very, very positive way. So with that, continue to strengthen your relationships with those team members and employees. And we will be back next Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be bringing on Adam Campo, who is with a company called J-Tech. So they do water solutions, water chemistry, and all that kind of stuff. Mark, you probably want to tune into that one, hear more about some of the water treatment side of things. So with that, we'll see you guys next Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Mark, have a good one. And with that, we are out. See you guys.
Take care.